What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 25th Java game development tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be working in the main class, or the class with the main method, and we're actually going to be running our sprite. So now that we have that sprite class all made, we can actually create an object from it and make a sprite on our screen and well, just watch it move around, I guess. So let's go ahead and, in case we really mess up anything, instead of just writing or fixing or editing this main Bucky class, go ahead and copy everything in here, create a new class, and name it Bucky2. And this way, in case we F anything up, we pretty much mess it up on this new class instead of our old one. So now we know we have an old class to go back to if need be. So of course we gotta name this Bucky2, 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 b.run. So bam, how easy was that? So the first thing that we have to do is we need to import one more thing. Import javax dot swing dot all, just to import all of the javax swing components because we're going to be using them. And after this, remember we had all of our objects so we can access the different classes, and since we just built a new class called sprite, and we can't put S because we use that in our screen manager class, we're actually going to have to type out sprite. So I know that's the first time I named an object that was bigger than 2 letters, but I mean it'll save you guys from confusion. So now what we need to do is in our scroll down to your load images method, and when you load images, after you create your animation right here, look, you created your animation that has 2 scenes in it. Go ahead and under this, what do we need to do? The first thing that we need to do is create a new sprite object. And remember, a sprite is the same thing as your image, and it's the same thing as your animation. They're one and the same. So go that sprite and set it equal to new sprite, and as your parameters, take what animation you want to use. This pretty much is saying what do you want to make move around the screen, and we're just going to use that A right there, that animation. So now this animation was of a guy blinking in one spot, and now that we're turning it into sprite, he's going to be blinking, but he's going to be moving around the screen instead of staying in one spot. So after this, what do we need to do? Well, we need to start him out with a velocity, and it can be anything you guys want, but sprite dot set velocity x. I'm gonna go with like 0.3 f. This is pretty much just a speed. How fast is he going? The x, left or right, and we also need to set his y velocity. If we only set 1, then he would. I mean, if we put this at 0.0, then he would only go back and forth. But we want them going all different kinds of angles, up and down, left and right. So we can either set those, we can even set those at 2 different velocities, but I'm just going to keep them the same. So I mean, why not, right? So now when we're done with that, we need to go down to movie loop, and right here, our movie loop method right here, and this is the main loop that plays the movie. And what do we need to do in here? Well, instead of updating our animation right here, we can go ahead and take this out right here, and we're going to make a new update method that's going to be time passed right there, and this is going to take control of all of our updates. And as you can see, this is underlined right here because we didn't create the method yet. We're going to be creating it later. And if you're saying, alright, if this updates the sprite, what the heck updates the animation? Well, if we go in your sprite class right here, we updated the animation when we called this update method for the sprite. So that's why we don't need to update the animation twice. Since we called it here, that's why we are able to take it out in our main movie loop. So now we can't forget to build an update method. We'll be doing that later. But for now, let's go ahead and scroll down, and I guess we have to do one more thing. And let me see if I forgot anything. We updated that. Alright, in our draw method right here, let's go ahead and take out this G draw image, because it's no longer going to draw an image anymore. Actually, we can just go ahead and take this part out. Instead of drawing a single image, what it's going to draw is that sprite. So let's go ahead, and the first thing we want to do is go sprite.getImage. So instead of drawing just a single image, we're going to want to draw the sprite, whatever's in the sprite class, and whatever image it is. So it's going to go ahead down here to get image, and it's going to return whatever image is playing at the animation at that time. And now we have to give it the parameters. Where do you want to appear on the screen, or in other words, where do you want me to draw this image, pretty much? Well, we want you to draw it at get X and the get Y value. Since this is going to be changing, we can't just type in 400, 300, because these are the values that need to be changing constantly. And what we need to do to this is actually round it off, since whenever we call get X and get Y, it might give us a decimal point number. And if we say, alright, draw it at 1.3 pixels, it's going to be like 1.3 pixels is either 1 or 2, make up your mind. So that's why we need to do math.round, and in your round method type sprite.getX. And what this is going to do is at an X value, it's going to round it off, the pixel off, because remember, you can't draw in half a pixel. It's either 1, 2, 5, 10, or whatever. It has to be a whole number, and it's going to get that X value of where a sprite should be and draw there. So now let's go ahead and copy this, copy, and do the same thing for Y. Control V, get Y, and for your image observer, go ahead and type in null, and don't forget a comma right there. So now what we're doing is we're drawing the sprite, and what this means, get image. Alright, do you want the guy's eyes to be open or eyes closed? Well, that depends on the animation. We want it to draw at the X value, round it off to the nearest pixel. At the Y value, round it off to the nearest pixel. And for the image observer, just put null, because I mean, we don't need to go over that right now. So I guess the only thing we have to do here, the only error we're getting, is we need to build this update method. And this update method updates the position of the sprite when it goes off your screen. So in the next tutorial we'll be doing that. In the next tutorial we will be finally watching the sprite bounce around our screen. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next tutorial.